Hello, Module 1. Before we move on to Step 2 or the project Steps 2 in Module 1 of the case, I want to take a few minutes to kind of go over some things with you. And again, my screen may look different because I'm on my personal laptop, which is smaller, but I will go over the menu with you. If you notice, or if you can notice, here at the top, remember where my information was saved to or asked me to create a database? So it gives me my folder where my database was placed. And remember that weird typing I did with the word case? It's there. So that lets me know my database is active. Again, databases are something that we interact with on a daily basis, but you're going to learn what goes on behind that interaction. So just take a close look at the screen and to talk about the steps. So you will have your set of instructions, say that you download from Sam. And after your scenario, you will have the project steps. Let me see if I still have this open. So project steps are what we're working on. So notice in step 1, it said create blank database and it gave the database name and save it to your module 1 folder. So although you only had that particular step, there are multiple tasks that you're responsible for getting to that step. And I'm going to try to cover most of those or all of those that are covered in your instructions, and that will be for each module. So these are my instructions. You may or may not have these steps physically because I'll have them and I'm giving them to you verbally, but we had step 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open, and these are my guides that I'm using, but just to give you an example of what you'll be looking at, hold on, or what you'll be completing. Let me maximize this. So these are my steps. This is what I'm referring to as I complete my item. So I have module 1, case 1. You will not have these specific instructions. Students may have a higher level of these instructions, but not to this detail. And the reason for that is before you actually attempt anything hands-on inside of Access, you should have at least done your Cengage work, read your chapters, and done at least the training so that where you have a hands-on reference to your material. So you'll have a high level reference that gives you your task with your steps, but you will not have this at this level. So the first thing that we did, so we did task 1, and remember I said task 1 or task and project steps would be used interchangeably. So this for my task 1, that's where I clicked on I opened Access. I created a blank database. I made my file folder. So all of these things, so even though that was step 1, my step 1 included at least 7 different tasks. So as you approach your instructions, I want everyone to be sure that they understand the depth and level that when you go to a job, somebody's going to give you a set of requirements. They're not going to give you this level of doing it. So at this time, this is where you're going to learn what you do to those items or where those items are or should be in order for you to do your best work. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize these and go back to where we were. I'll take this back to my other screen. Mhm. So here, you'll notice this, and you have your ebook, and you'll notice terminology that will be used throughout the steps. There'll be different terminology that will be used throughout the steps. Um, One, I also like to tell students as they're looking at their instructions to pick up on keywords. Like the step 1, it was create and a blank database, and it gave you the specific name. So again, even though the instructions are the instructions, they tell you what to do. I'll just go that step further in explaining how to do it. So the next step that we'll take is step 2. Step 2 will say in datasheet view, rename the default ID primary key field to tutor ID. Change that data type field to short text. So there's a lot, even though that's step 2, there's a lot of tasks associated with that. I am going to pick up the recording on step 2, go through most of the information from there, um, at a high level. And then if you have additional questions, in addition to referring back to your training, just let me know.